the governor-elect of New Jersey, Mikie Sherrill. I was saying you're a Navy helicopter pilot. That's kind of badass thing to have done. You wanted to be a pilot when you were younger, but I understand that you actually did something even more badass not far from this theater, over on the east side here. Can you tell everybody well, you were definitely in it. Tell people what happened.
Okay, I just want to, in my defense, I just want to say a couple things.
No one's attacking you.
Wait till they hear the story. No, there is a book when women are pregnant that they often read. Maybe you and Evie know it. It's called What to Expect When You're Expecting.
Sure, of course.
So I had thumbed through that, and there is a chapter called How to Deliver Your Own Baby, which I had made a lot of fun of. For the women on the go who doesn't have time to go, the hospital. Just here's a do-it-yourself life hack. So I'd been making a lot of fun of this chapter. So, my suggestion is karma's tough. Don't do that to people who are pregnant. And then I also my sister at the time, it was her first pregnancy and my second, and she was very stressed about the whole thing. But I wasn't like a normal pregnant lady. I was a cool pregnant lady, right? So, I was going to handle this. So my husband calls, and he says, how's it going? I said, I think today's the day. He said, I'll come home. Comes home. He's like, how's it going? I said, it's fine. He said, my mom wants me to stop and get her a cup of coffee. I said, go ahead, right? Cool pregnant lady, sure. So he stops at the bodega. I'm on the Upper West Side at this point. Comes in, we're on a third floor walk up. He comes in, and I'm having some contractions. He goes, how far apart are those? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, let me time them. He goes, okay, 45 seconds. He goes, you should call the doctor. We should call the doctor. And I said, okay. So we call the doctor, and she goes, yeah, you should, come in. You don't sound that stressed, but, come in. I'm going to have you go to the hospital. I said, okay. So we're on the third floor walk up, so we go down, and we're on 95th, and if you're going to cross Central Park, which is, and this is relevant, only half a mile wide. We basically just had to get to the other side of the park to Mount Sinai. So I walk up to 96, Jason hails a cab, we get in, we get halfway across the park and my water breaks. And I'm like, I'm having this baby in the cab. And Jason, my husband, goes, don't push.
Is he here right now?
He's not here.
He's not here.
He is not here, unfortunately. He's traveling. Maybe, smartly.
Yeah.
He says, don't push. And for anyone, and I can tell from the audience's response, for anyone who's have a baby, that's not really an option, right? That's not something on the table. And I just looked at him. And so we get to the end of the park, and the light turns red. And so we're sitting there. And then the light turns green. And then it turns red again. And we're not going anywhere. And Jason's like, buddy, you got to make this light. So we finally, the guy kind of pulls some maneuvers. We get to 97th, and it's just still really jammed up. So he pulls over, and Jason said, I'm going to go get help, which I have later called pulling a runner on me. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of...
for a pack of smokes, I'll be right back.
Right, exactly. An Irish goodbye, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there, and I'm, luckily, I've read the chapter, so I know exactly what I'm doing here. Exactly. Delivering my own baby.
Not as funny this time.
Right. And of course, the cab driver's like he never looks back. He's just white knuckling the steering wheel, like, oh my gosh. So a lady who was at the bus stop, it turns out she'd worked at the hospital, said, can I help? And I'm like, sure, catch. So I have this baby. And so then, I'm holding this baby, and, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the little baby, and Jason comes running back at this point, and he looks at me, and I'm holding our son, and he, looks down, and he looks at me again, and he goes, I thought I told you not to push.
And you obviously apologize. Well, Governor-elect, thank you so much for being here.
I really appreciate it.
Governor-elect Mikie Sherrill, everybody. We'll be right back with a performance from the Broadway show, The Queen of Versailles.